Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on the Sustainability Series, our mini webinar series that explores conscious consumerism in e-commerce. In each episode, we'll be talking to a guest partner about how offering your customers a sustainable shopping experience can create community, inspire action, and drive loyalty. So really important, and we're really excited to get stuck into it. I am absolutely thrilled to be talking to Chris Mjelde from Verdn today. To keep these episodes as quick and as insightful as possible, we won't be holding a Q&A. However, if you do have any questions that you would like to put to LoyaltyLion or our guests today, then please do feel free to tweet us at LoyaltyLion HQ using the hashtag #SustainableSeries, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So we'll jump straight in. We'll start with introductions, and I'll go first. My name is Jack. I'm a Technology Partnerships Manager at LoyaltyLion, and I have the fabulous job of working with some of the most interesting tech partners in the ecosystem. And as I said, we're joined by Chris from Verdn. And Chris, to begin with, would you mind giving us a little bit of an overview of yourself and what Verdn does?
Sure, yeah. And thanks for having me, Jack. So, yeah, my name is Chris. Moved to London from Norway roughly 10 years ago to study. Met my co-founder Rory there at university and have a background in consulting and green tech. And we set up Verdn over just 2 years ago and been live for about 18 months. And Verdn is essentially software that lets e-commerce stores give back to different environmental causes that they wish to support with their sales. And now we're starting to do our third-party integrations, and the first one being LoyaltyLion, to help customers also make more impactful loyalty decisions with their points.
Absolutely. It's one of the things that we see so many customers and so many clients of ours looking for is to create those individualized moments. And I think you guys do a fantastic job of it. Let's start with one of the basics of Verdn, which is how Verdn allows customers to track their impact to a chosen environmental pledge post-purchase. Because you are touching base with those customers and you're creating a customer journey, how does that change and how does that create an emotional connection with those customers from your perspective?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. It's one that we've been thinking a lot about, and it sort of was a crucial question early on to sort of make us pivot in the way that we did. I think it comes down to story, essentially, right? It's like narrative is how humans make sense of the world. So if you make a very obtuse claim, if you say, hey, you can offset the carbon emissions of your shipping and it's 5 kilograms of CO2, a consumer might understand that intellectually, but it doesn't really mean very much. It's not anchored with the consumer, in our opinion. But if you let a consumer have a positive, tangible impact, like planting a tree or picking up ocean plastic, and there's a quantity involved, and then you let them actually engage and track that and have updates on it after purchase, you go beyond intellectualizing it. You create an emotional connection between the consumer, the impact, and by extension, the brand. That's the goal.
Absolutely. And one of the metrics that we talk a lot about at LoyaltyLion is that 78% of customers want to feel valued as an individual, and they say it leads to them purchasing more. So it's wonderful to have something that they can recurringly come back to and engage with. So we absolutely love that. Okay, so with that in mind, are there any examples that spring to mind of a brand today that is offering a sustainable shopping experience to build customer loyalty?
Well, when you say that, my mind jumps to a few of the companies that we're working with, right? So it'd be interesting to hear your take on it afterwards. But as a couple of examples, we work with a company called High Hope Clothing, for example. They planted 100,000 trees with us. Now they do a lot of stuff on the business as a whole. They use organic materials, they use sustainable shipping methods, etc. But now they also have this tangible impact with every product and let consumers engage with that post-purchase, and that's been really successful for them.
I actually, and we spoke about that example previously, and I've looked at it before, and one of the things which really resonates with me when you have that validation technique or Verdn is that it kind of mitigates the issue of greenwashing, which we know is especially prevalent when you're looking at environmental brands or brands who claim to be environmental but are not. Do you think there's any particular element of Verdn that helps with greenwashing, or kind of, helps kind of remove your clients from that sort of issue?
Yes, and look, we're not a complete solution to the problem, but we try to be an antidote to greenwashing, and it touches on what you just said, because it's very easy for companies to make an obtuse claim about something they're doing, but the way to solve that is to have radical transparency, right? So that's what we're doing, because we work with NGOs. We get data, proprietary data from them every month, and we democratize that data and give it back to empower the consumer to sort of stay on top of that and do their own research and see what happens on the ground. So at least along that dimension of the impact, that there can be no greenwashing with a solution like ours. And then obviously we work with brands more broadly to sort of figure out how we can help them in other ways, but we try to be a force for good in that respect.
No, absolutely. No, that's really interesting. And moving on to our final section of this, obviously there's going to be a lot of merchants and brands who are here listening today. And my question to you would be, what advice would you give to those merchants who are unsure about what sort of sustainable causes or charities their brand should support?
Look, that's a great question. Part of it is to find a cause or causes that resonates with the brand identity. And that can be easy, or it can be more complicated. If you're a swimwear brand, working on ocean health is a thematic choice that will undoubtedly resonate with your consumers. It's probably an easy one. It can be more difficult than that. But what we've found is that you can also have brands that want to, give back to certain project with certain product lines or with certain collections. And that also seems to work quite well. So you shouldn't restrict yourself too much. Beyond that, I think you shouldn't be scared to sort of engage with your community and figure out what might be top of mind for them. Because conscious consumerism is growing like practically exponentially as a force. So to sort of not expect yourself to maybe get it right on the first try, but sort of engaging directly with them would arguably be appreciated. And again, it's sort of that some of them can be quite militant and trying to, make sure that you're doing the right thing. And if you're sort of open and honest about, hey, look, as a business, we're a work in progress, and we want to figure out what are you valuing and how can we align with those values, I think is normally received very, very well. I think beyond that, a couple of extra points, which is auxiliary or like tangential to this, is it's very important not to sort of have environmental give back as a sole pillar of your sustainability strategy. I think, again, you'll be found out. And again, you might be accused of stuff like greenwashing if you don't have a more holistic approach to wanting to improve on multiple fronts. And finally, I think it's worth thinking that once you find the cause, you have to embed it quite deeply, right? You can make the mistake of making it sort of like a very superficial add-on that will provide a lot less value to your business unless in contrast to you sort of embedding it into your mission, embedding it into the brand story, and, for example, extending it into your loyalty program, right? Letting consumers have the ability to have meaningful action or impact in multiple ways.
I love that. And I love the connection you made to a loyalty program. Something that's really important for us when we start thinking about what sort of rewards you want to offer your customers is that you want it to remain on brand. I think sometimes we overlook quite how, tech savvy a lot of customers are in e-commerce, or those who shop on e-commerce. And sometimes when you are looking at a purely financial reward, it does feel very transactional. And that's not necessarily the experience that you want to build. So having an integration like Verdn, which allows you to go a step further and really align with your clear brand message, I absolutely love. And this is one question from me, because I am curious. Right now, Verdn has several out-the-box offerings in terms of how you can give back. Are there any more planned for the future?
Well, yes, absolutely. We right now we're offering impacts such as tree planting and ocean plastic cleanup, and we're onboarding coral planting and very shortly. And beyond that, there are more coming online. We're going to be going into clean water, peatland restoration, and also more strictly social impacts like meal donations, etc., social causes. So there's a lot of potential scope for aligning more naturally with more and more brands in the months to come.
Okay, awesome. That's really exciting. I can't wait for all of that. Okay, well, brilliant. Well, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to connect with me today and to teach us a little bit more about Verdn and how you help customers with their environmental and social rewards. That is pretty much all we have time for today. But on the premise our customers want to find out more about yourself and about Verdn, where should they go?
Well, you can definitely check out our website, which is verdn.com. There's also a Shopify app. If you're on Shopify, you can install that. There's a LoyaltyLion integration straight from the first screen you see. And also you can reach out to me directly if you wish on chris@verdn.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this episode of the Sustainability Series. I hope you all found it valuable and have been left with some great ideas and insights. As always, we'll be sharing the on-demand recording, so don't worry if you feel you may have missed something. And lastly, a big thank you to Chris for being today's guest speaker. Remember, if you have any questions at all for Verdn or LoyaltyLion, feel free to reach out to either one of us or tweet us using the hashtag Sustainability Series or get in touch via our websites. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.